Former national security officials routinely keep their security clearances so they can share their expertise with their successors. The president's detractors say this threat is just another effort to distract from the Mueller investigation, but significantly, it signals a willingness to use the powers of the presidency to retaliate against some of his most vocal critics.
This morning, new backlash following President Trump's unprecedented threat targeting some of his fiercest critics.
This is a feeble attempt by this White House to change the conversation.
The White House warning it may revoke security clearances from 6 former top national security officials who've served Democrats and Republicans.
They've politicized and in some cases monetized their public service and security clearances. Making baseless accusations of improper contact with Russia or being influenced by Russia against the president is extremely inappropriate.
The list, including former CIA director and NBC News senior national security and intelligence analyst John Brennan. Following last week's summit with Vladimir Putin, Brennan blasted the president for openly questioning his own intelligence agency's conclusions that Russia interfered with U.S. elections, calling it nothing short of treasonous.
I equate it to the betrayal of one's nation.
Also named former FBI Director James Comey, who already lost his security clearance when he was fired last year. Comey on Twitter challenging Americans to identify all the public figures President Trump has criticized, writing, "Ask yourself, why is Putin missing from the list?" President Trump has repeatedly targeted his political critics. Last week asked whether U.S. intelligence agencies are out to get him.
You look at Brennan, you look at Clapper, you look at Hayden, you look at Comey. Very hard to have confidence in that group.
Former intelligence officials routinely keep their security clearance so they can talk about sensitive matters with their successors. Former CIA Director Michael Hayden tweeting, "I don't go back for classified briefings. Won't have any effect on what I say or write." President Obama's intelligence director James Clapper calling Mr. Trump's threat very petty.
If he chooses to do it for political reasons, I think that's a terrible precedent, and it's a very sad commentary, and it's an abuse of the system.
And Peter, on another subject, just 24 hours ago, we all woke up to the president's all-caps tweet telling Iran not to threaten the U.S. or else. Has Iran now responded?
Yeah, Iran did respond late Monday on Twitter. This is from Javad Zarif. He is the foreign minister of Iran. We'll put the tweet up on your screen. You can read along. It says, "Color us unimpressed. The world heard even harsher bluster a few months ago. We've been around for millennia and seen fall of empires, including our own, which lasted more than the life of some countries." Then in all caps, they wrote, "Be cautious." The president was pressed on his warning to Iran Monday. Take a listen.
Not at all. Not at all.
Sarah Sanders was asked about this situation here in the briefing room yesterday. She would not discuss whether the president is employing the same tactic he used with Kim Jong-un of North Korea, trying to force a meeting earlier this year. Savannah.
All right, Peter Alexander in the briefing room there. Thank you so much.
Hello, Today fans. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking that button down there and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives.